Let's finish lab 6. In this last part, I'm going to connect to a new data source, create a new sheet, put together a new dashboard, and then create some dashboard actions. So on number 14, we're supposed to connect to our old S&P 500 quarterly financial results data. And so let's do that. We're already connected to the daily stock price data. That's a union of Ford, GM, Tesla, and so on. But we don't want to join another table, or we don't want to do another union. We want to open a new data source. Okay, so we're going to click here on this little cylinder next to the Tesla, the original data source, and select new data source. We're going to select a text file, and we're going to look for the SP 500, which we used, I think, in lab 2 or something. So let's see if it's still here in my downloads folder. I hope it is. There it is, the S&P 500 stocks 2010, 2020. We're going to say OK to that. And this is data that's familiar to us. There's a ticker, calendar date, revenue, profit, and so on. Now notice that this is a new data source. We can toggle between the old union data source and this new data source up here. Let's actually add some data source filters, because I know that we only want to use the 3 car makers. Tesla, which is TSLA, perfect. We want to use Ford, which is just F, and we want to use GM, which is ticker GM. Okay, so we're using 3 of those, keeps F, GM, and Tesla. And let's also use only data from 2012 on, because that's where we're going to plot our stock prices from 2012 onwards. So we're going to say years, and we're going to select 2012 through 2020. Okay, I'm going to just highlight that with the Shift key, select, and that's okay. So we've got 9 years of data. Perfect. So let's open a new sheet. Now we can see now in the data tab that we can toggle between the Tesla data source, which has all the 3 car makers' daily stock prices, and the quarterly financial data for what is now 3 car makers, because we added the data source filter. And we're supposed to create a bar chart, a quarterly bar chart. So we want to put date on columns, and we're going to drill down to quarters, because that is the time level, time granularity, time frequency for which this financial data exists. And we want to show revenue, and we want to show well, we want to show revenue, but we want it to be a bar chart. So let's change the mark from automatic to bar, and we want this bar to be broken down by ticker, by the company. So let's find ticker. We're gonna move that to color, and we can see nicely that what is the revenue of each of these 3 companies. Interestingly, you can see how low Tesla's revenue is compared to the other 2 car makers. And let's put also net income on this chart, so we can see not just revenue but also profit. And indeed, we can see Ford is pretty good. Well, I guess in 2020, not so good. In 2020, Ford had losses. GM did fine. Notice Tesla making losses all these years, and only recently starting to make profits, which are still only a fraction of the profits that the other 2 car makers make. Okay, so I'd like to put now create a dashboard that has both the daily price data, like we have here, and these quarterly financial results. So we could see how they're related. Do stock prices go up when financial results improve or not? So, here we're plotting the daily stock prices. We're plotting them by table name, which is a field that identifies whether the stock price is for Tesla, GM, or Ford. But let's do this a little differently. Let's create a new field, which we're going to call ticker. And I'm using ticker because I want the field to match the field that identifies the companies in the quarterly financial data. And ticker should be really just the ticker portion of the table name field. The table name is f.csv, gm.csv, tesla.csv. So we just need the portion before the dot, and we know how to do that using function split, table name, splitting on a dot, and taking the first part. So that's okay. Perfect. And let's actually even replace the color table name with a ticker. Okay, now it's a ticker, FGM and Tesla. Fantastic. We should actually change the color scheme because I don't like GM. Oh, I don't like Tesla to be red. I would like Tesla to be green, and then GM to be red. Ford can stay blue. Ford, that's their color. That's pretty good. So, and we should use the same color scheme here, making GM red, Tesla green. Fantastic. Okay, so let's now create a dashboard, and we might as well actually duplicate this dashboard where we have the daily stock prices against the table summarizing annual stock returns, and replace that table with our quarterly financial data. Let's actually name this sheet, let's see, quarterly fin data, and name the time plot of daily stock prices. Perfect. So that I know what I'm dragging into the dashboard. Quarterly financial data, let's put it on the bottom of the dashboard. Let's make this legend floating so that we have extra space here. Let's get rid of the title. Let's get rid of the field label. Let's align the point where the data begins in the time plot with the quarterly bar chart, and let's make these columns a little narrower by adding some padding on the right here of the bar chart. So let's do that really quick. Doesn't matter if it's inner or outer. And let's add it on the right side so that the data lines up. A little more. Yeah, almost there. Almost there, not bad. Almost there. Perfect, look at that. Also want to probably make this one a little smaller. And I'm going to get rid of the quarter labels because it's pretty clear that within the years we have 4 quarters, so we don't need Q1, Q2, Q3 labels there. Okay, so this is a pretty nice dashboard where on the top we have daily stock prices, on the bottom we have quarterly financial results. Beautiful. Now, let's introduce dashboard actions. Okay. Really cool interactive feature of Tableau dashboards. And the dashboard, so the action that I want to create first is a filter action. And what I would love to do is when I interact with the daily price chart, let's say if I hover over Tesla, I would love it that if the quarterly financial results displayed only Tesla, not the other two car companies with it. Right? So if I hover over Tesla, I only want to see Tesla's financial results. Similarly, if I hover over GM, I only want to see GM's financial results. So let's see if we can do that. Under the dashboard menu, there's actions. I'm going to add action. And in our case, it's a filter action because in the target sheet, we want to filter. We only want to see Tesla, or we only want to see GM, or we only want to see Ford. So the action is going to be filtering. And every action has a source sheet. That is the sheet where from which the action is triggered, and a target sheet, the sheet where the action takes place. So in our case, the source sheet is the daily stock prices. The target sheet is the quarterly financial data. And we want to trigger that action based on hover, meaning whenever we hover over a particular data point, that data point is going to be used as a filter in the target sheet. So we're going to use all fields here. That's all fine. Let's say OK to that. Let's say OK to this. And let's hope this works. So if I hover over Tesla, now I can see Tesla's financial results. I see their revenue. Wow, 30 billion in 2020. Excellent. If I hover over GM, not bad. 150 billion, much bigger. But clearly with Tesla, we can see the pattern. We can see how the rise in revenue, and particularly how the rise in profits is associated with the rise in their stock price. Okay. So that's an action. That's a dashboard action, a really engaging, interactive feature. Okay, so let's see if we can add the URL action. Let's go to dashboard actions. I already have it here, so let me edit that. Oh, let me remove it first. Add action. We're going to go to the actions now. Is going to be go to URL. We're going to make that action happen from the quarterly financial data because that's where we have the company site information, the URL. So that's going to be really the only source of the action, and we want that to happen on select when we click, not just hover, but actually click. The URL is included in the company site field. Let's say OK to that, and OK to this. So we have our hover action that works just fine. And now let's see if we click on Tesla here. This is going to open. Oh, look at that! It opens a Tesla website, Model S. Nice looking car. All right, so these are actions. You can see very powerful, very cool addition to your dashboards. And that's all I wanted to cover in Lab 6.